Well, people get it wrong almost every day. On a daily, I'm used to it. And because of it, the rest of I have another sister that was named a Hawaiian name, which is what it is. It's a Hawaiian name. And originally, when the 5 of us kids were coming into the world, my mother and my father wanted to name us all Hawaiian names because, we were kind of brought up and raised there. But after the second kid, my sister's name is Kalani. Nobody could get that right either, so she just kind of went to regular old names that weren't, culturally speaking, like first names. But yeah, my name's Hawaiian. It came from Hawaii, where I was born. Keala, Kayla, Kalia, Kalua. Yeah. It's Kiki. Some people just go K because they just don't even know. And that's fine. I mean, I know it's not like an Amy or a Sarah or a Rachel, but I'm used to it because I know that as much as my name is my name, it's not who I am. It's just kind of a recognition sort of thing. It's like, oh, that's so-and-so. You know what? It was incredible and amazing and stressful and scary. All at the same time, because as much as it's the first time I was ever, hopefully not the last, but the first time I was ever nominated. So I went through all of these experiences with quite a few other people who had been nominated for the first time as well, which made me feel not so alone, in my feelings. But as much as it's an exciting experience, and it's a very scary one as well, because you always know that you're working at the same time as enjoying, these moments that you're having. So you always have to make sure that you don't say the wrong thing. I mean, even now, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to curse. I don't want to, just because I don't want anybody to think that that's, I don't want to put a wrong portrayal of who I am out there. But all of that being said, the people that I got to hang out with, just this upper echelon of amazing performers, all these storytellers that I was counted among, was an incredible incredible experience, one that I won't soon forget. Oh yeah, I mean he's an incredible human being from what I know of him, and to boot, an amazing performer. I mean, obviously, because he's here on Broadway. He came from, the UK with the show, and was one of the biggest things about the show as well in the UK. So
you've seen it, right?
I have, and I've seen bits and pieces of it. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I'm trying to get there as soon as I can because there's other things that I'm working on right now. I never expected Joy of the Lord to be anything like what it was and is. Had no idea. I just knew that I was petrified of singing it. Because I'm afraid of being out in the front by myself, which I know sounds odd, but I knew that I had no other option but to sing it with no music, and I had to hopefully stay on key. And but I knew that if I didn't let go of any of my fears, or all of the fears that I had at the time, every time I performed it, there's no way I would be able to do it. And I needed everybody else at the truck to do it. So. Because I think all of the actual, all of the thoughts aside of what the song is about for her, as far as being a born-again Christian and so on and so forth, there is an energy in that song that, like I said, requires not just one person to, put it out there, but so many people at that truck helped me do it. And then halfway through the song, it became about the entire theater, and everybody was a part of it. That energy came from every single person that was there, and they felt it. They felt it, or they wouldn't have responded the way that they always did. And it says mountains about, live theater, which is why I love it so much. It brings so many people together without even, forcing them to or expecting them to. They just become a part of it, and it's the best thing in the world. I was scared out of my mind. There were a lot of times that I was always thinking about Keith Carradine, because he makes me laugh so much just this old man and an old soul who has become my brother in the process of putting the show together. And I love him dearly. And he has these quirks that used to make me laugh all the time. And I would throw that in the back of my head and just kind of start giggling. And then I would hear him laugh. And that's when I knew that I could keep going. And then I would hear Kathleen laugh, and I could keep going. I heard Allison laugh. As soon as I could hear people laughing with me, I could do it. I don't know if, I mean, it's hard because it's such a give and take moment that I've never witnessed as an audience member in theater. So as a performer, it's the only time I've ever done something like that. But when I did it as a performer, you can't really depend on the audience so much in the beginnings of that. You kind of just have to be that character and kind of go there up to the boundary where the audience will take over and hope that they will take over. And you can feel it. I don't know if it's not so much hear it, but you can feel it in them. And that's how I rolled every performance. Kind of hoped for the best. I mean, you never know, but again, just got to keep chugging. We had to do it by default because if one of us was out of place, that truck wouldn't move the way that it needed to move in the show. But and the way the show was written and the actual story of the piece itself. I mean, even the people that we, portrayed had said the same thing. It was a time period in their life that they'll never forget, and they know those people and remember those people. And for us, it was, because we were able to make it into, a show, it brought us closer together as human beings and made us realize how much more we need each other, even, outside of the production itself, that we would need, another human's touch or another human's, nobody can be alone no matter how much we try. And we always tried because it's human nature, but somebody would be around the corner going, I need you right now. It's like, oh man. I would pick Kathleen Monteleone, because the amount of work that I saw her do in the production was incredible. And she's I don't know if she's considered a newcomer, but you have not seen the last of her. She will be blowing up stages very soon. Very soon, very soon. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we all went into the studio and just kind of went, oh, but we did it because we love it so much. And I think there absolutely is a resurgence of energy as far as let's get it out there, because now we have an opportunity to let people listen to what we did and what the story we were telling, because there's a script to the actual CD. There's a script to it for the album, and people will get to hear the actual story as well along with the music. I'm excited. I love them dearly. I love them dearly. I love them dearly. I mean, and I'm sure it's with any show, but I think it hit home for us more, these fans, because, we knew what our story was about. We knew it was experimental, and they were there. They were there almost every night, loving to hear the same stories, and we also had kids from AMDA that came, and there were other people that couldn't wait to show up because they had heard about their friends seeing it before from Texas, and just because it was something that wasn't out there. It was a story about your next door neighbor, or a story about your teacher down the street, or the lady you go to church with, whoever it was, or the local car mechanic. And every single person somehow represented almost every walk of society. Almost every walk of society in our show represented that. And I think that's what was so beautiful about it, and that's what kept our fans especially, wanting to see more and more and more of it again. And plus, because it's live theater, it changed just a little bit every night. Because I don't believe in material things that bad. I'm a firm believer in things happen for a reason, and I may not agree with them, but I roll with the punches very much so. Sometimes I'm not able to, but I'm also surrounded by people who go, you got no choice but to roll with the punches. And then I go, oh, okay. I could never, ever do that. No way. Not for a car, anyway. The best boyfriend in the world, maybe, but not for a car, honey. No, 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 no. I remember walking into the final callbacks for that, and it was just after we had closed, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was still kind of in shell shock mode and going, well, I got to keep working, and yeah, here's Sting, but my show closed. Dang it. I kind of want to be here, but I don't want to be here. I wish I was still at the Brooks, Atkinson. But, I walked in, and I remember in that instant going back to my roots of being an actual stage singer, which is what I did growing up. I loved being an R&B singer and folk singer because my mother was. And it brought me back to the reason why I like doing what I do, again. After coming out of the show closing and watching Sting with his eyes closed and kind of rocking back and forth. It was the best feeling ever. It was the best feeling. Him and Joe Mantello, and they're all incredible, incredible individuals. And I remember looking at the table in the rehearsal room one day, and one of our castmates looked over at me and said, look at that table. And in order, this is who was sitting at the table. It was Sting, John Logan, one of the book writers, and Joe Mantello. And I remember my castmate saying, well, you got your Grammy, you got your Oscar, and you got your Tony all at one table. It was incredible. It was pretty awesome, pretty awesome. The show will be coming here next fall. So I know that they're trying to do an out-of-town tryout. I'm not sure where, as a lot of Broadway shows do. But whether or not I'm part of it, I'd love to be. But whether or not I'm a part of it, it's a beautiful story. And it's, in dedication to Sting's father and the life that they had in Newcastle. It's an incredible piece. I love it. Again, another piece like the one that Doug Wright wrote about, paying homage to, Texas. This is another one. It's just beautiful. We haven't started it yet, but the funny thing is that we've already received, scripts and librettos in our, email boxes, and it's kind of funny because I'm sitting there going, well, I guess I'll just memorize what I think I'm supposed to know and, go for the gold, because one person plays numerous characters, so there's I think 5 or 6 of us that do that, and I'm one of those. So I'm excited to see Sutton. I haven't seen her since the opening in La Jolla. With Hardbody. Just going through the foster family. That's what I like to call it this year. Going through the foster family.